Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me. That's a
Hey, this is Lefty here with Cheapa, and we are doing our second movie review. And the movie's entitled Eden Lake. So, this movie I actually seen on Tubi. Never heard of it before, but it's got Michael Fassbender from the X-Men series, who's the young version of Magneto. And it's got Kelly What's-Her-Face from Yellowstone. And
Are, are we starting this early? Kelly, what's her face?
It's got what's her face Dutton. What's her name? Jane?
Beth Dutton.
Beth Dutton.
Yep.
And so
Yellowstone.
From Yellowstone. So
Go.
Like I went into it with no expectations. I thought 2008 was pretty early as far as like the year. Like I couldn't exactly remember when X-Men, like when Fassbender had started X-Men. I couldn't I knew that that what's her face, Jesus, Kelly Riley. I knew that Kelly Riley hasn't been that famous for that long, so I was just like, let me watch this. And I went into it with zero expectations, which helped the performance of the movie, and I was semi-surprised that I never heard of it before, considering that you had two fairly well-known people in it. So that's kind of where I was on it. And when we started the movie reviews, I figured, hey, why not have Cheapa check it out? I kind of pumped it up a little bit, so she went in with more expectations than I originally did. But full disclosure, it's right up my alley as far as it's in nature, in the woods, survival, and it's a thriller type, depending on what you find thrilling. And what were your initial reactions, Cheapa? We could go through the first act. Just what were you thinking?
Okay, so first of all, it's not so much that I had preconceived notions, or I didn't expect something super great based on what you told me. More than anything, I guess what I didn't expect was when they open up the credits, they start off with like these flashes that are really anxiety inducing. And so basically, with that being said, I'm not a person who loves I have a threshold for certain thrillers. I can only do so much. I definitely can't stand horror. And right at the beginning, I thought, oh crap, what did he get me into? And so, I mean, I was watching probably the first bit of it like this. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad. I think there was only one time where it was a little intense for me, and I forwarded it like the little 10-second forward, little bit. But I was just like, I don't want to know what happens, because I didn't want to see what I didn't want to see. What I don't like to see is somebody grab like the leg from under the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to see stuff like that. But even out in the woods, a hand reaches out from a bush, bro, it's over for me. I'm gonna have a whole heart attack. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be looking for Kuko underneath my bed at nighttime. It's not gonna work. But actually, this one, it was even with all of those thoughts at the beginning, it turned out to be pretty decent.
So, the first act is mostly, and I'm going to try not to get too spoilery, But basically, it's a couple on vacation, and they go to somewhere in Europe, England, maybe, or something, or maybe they're, maybe they're already European and they just go on vacation, whatever, right?
Yeah, they were already European because the vehicle he was driving on the on the wrong side of the car. So he started off getting in the passenger seat and firing up the engine. So no, yeah, I believe it was in the UK somewhere.
Okay, so they go somewhere, they go on vacation, they end up in the woods, which always works out well. And they go to the hotel right then and there, right? They're at a bar where the bartender's paying zero attention to them. And then they observe these kids kind of being little jerks, making trouble. And there was a type of foreshadowing there. I think Chipa was already talking to me about, oh no, the hotel already ain't working out. They're already having a not, I don't know, like you were texting me stuff, and then I was like,
yeah, because this was like National Lampoons meets I Know What You Did Last Summer. Some nonsense like that, like National Lampoon's Vacation, right? Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, from the time that they were getting in the car to the time they get to the only thing that was right was that the area that it was set in was really beautiful. That's where Angel probably got really excited because the lake scene, the fishing thing, all of that was nice. Eden Lake was nice.
Right. So, yeah, the fishing part, like I wouldn't be laying down if I were them just there. I'd have a couple rods in the water and a cooler. Yeah. But so second act is their first dangerous interaction with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets worse. And without getting too spoilery, because then it turns into like a survival. The kids are chasing them, and apparently they're the most evil kids ever. And PSA, and this I wrote down, don't drive in the dark if you can't see.
That should not need to be said. That's all. That should not need to be said. But in this movie, somebody missed the memo. Definitely.
Right. All I heard was, that the cars, they're hitting the accelerator, and he's got his hands up on the steering wheel like, I can't see. There's a brake on that car. And even if you go 12 miles an hour, those kids ain't running.
Right.
And they're not using their bikes in the thick of the woods and the bush.
That's right. Yeah.
So
it's not too stealthy to punch the accelerator either.
No.
You ain't going too far because you can't see the tree that's going to pop out and stop your car dead in its tracks. And then on top of that, you're giving your position away so they could run right to where the crash happened.
Right. Like they didn't hear it.
Right.
And then the third act, I'll just leave alone. But other than that, I'll just say, I don't know what else to say.
So I'll say this about the movie. The ending was a trip, period. So without giving out any spoilers, obviously the goal is to escape these hellions, right? And if you ever had a thought in your mind as to, well, dang, don't these kids got parents? Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Therefore, the end had me through. I was like, I can't believe they ended it like that. So I'll tell you, and honestly, it didn't make me feel any worse for the wear for watching it. I liked it. So, I thought it was actually pretty decent. I could go home and turn off the lights with no problems. So, it was okay for me. But I definitely, you see Beth Dutton, is it Riley? Is her real name Kelly Riley?
Yeah.
Her real name. So you see Kelly Riley, she's hardcore then. I think maybe this is the beginning of her hardcoreness, that everybody loves in Yellowstone. The little Magneto guy, for lack of a better name, young Magneto, he's actually he does pretty good too. You want to see a little bit more from his character, but I don't feel like that had to do with his acting. I feel like that had to do with the role that he had to play. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a little bit disappointing to see him that way, but it's okay because that's what the role called for. Now, these kids, they, I can see why they never made it big. I don't think not a one of them's a big actor anywhere. And I can see why. If that's your first role, you don't compromise your morals in life. you gotta start with something different. That's like the kids from Children of the Corn. That movie was
about to think that.
Yeah. Some kids just disappeared off the face of the earth, right?
Yeah, that's the only roles you're gonna get. But
yeah,
to put into perspective when this movie was filmed, right? You'd assume 2007 because it came in 2008, and Michael Fassbender hadn't even played in Inglourious Bastards until 2009.
Dang.
And it wasn't Magneto until 2011.
Right.
So this is like
before all of that.
This is like a solid year before all that. And then the director, his name is James Watkins, and this is his first time directing a film. And he actually was on the, I don't know what you call it, the second unit director. He wrote The Descent Part 2, which, if you're a horror fan, The Descent Part 1 is a classic.
Right.
Absolute classic. Part 2, it's good enough. Then he does The Woman in Black with that has Harry Potter in it. And then he's got another movie that's coming out this year called Speak No Evil that, funny enough, has the young Professor X in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's directing both of them.
Isn't the young Professor X? Isn't he Tumnus in Chronicles of Narnia?
Yeah.
He's the goat in Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also in Split.
Yeah, Split. Oh, dude, Split was a good one. Yeah.
So, is this movie worth your time? Because right now you can see this movie for free on Tubi.
I cannot with you, man. I just cannot. Yes. This movie is on Tubi.
So it's an bet.
It's an bet. I think it's definitely worth it, especially if you're a fan of Yellowstone, if you're a fan of anything that I forget the male actor's name. Dang it, he's always Magneto to me. But if you're
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. Gig and bet. But yeah, if you're a fan of either one of them, I think this is a decent movie. If you're not a fan of either one of those actors and actresses, I would say, you know, it's still not even, it's not boring. It's something, it's one of those things where it's like, huh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But but yeah, I mean, I wasn't upset at the end of it. I said, okay, Angel, my bad. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I said, you did good. You picked out a good one.
I mean, considering I never even knew what it was.
Right.
Just like, okay. But anyway, that's our second movie review. Stay tuned for more. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let us know
if there's something that you want us to watch and review. If it's an indie movie, if it's a you know, something that's action that you're like, I don't know if I want to go to the theaters and watch this, let us know. We will be able to let you know what is going on with it. And look, this is what we do. We enjoy it.
All right. So thanks for checking out Bet. Till next time. Peace.